Hello once again, YouTubers. I'm Robert, and welcome to another Drake and Josh review series pertains to Season 1, Episode 6, the final episode of Season 1, until we get to Season 2, which I'll talk a little more about that before the end of this review. But pertains to this review for Drake and Josh, pertains to Episode 6. This episode is about Grammy.
Well, I never thought that it'd be so simple, but I found a way, I found a way. If you open up your mind, see what's inside. It's gonna take some time to realize. But if you look inside, I'm sure you'll find. Over your shoulder, you know that I told you I will always be picking you up when you're down. So just turn around. Ooh.
So we start off with Drake and Josh, the split screen, pertains to the introduction for the episode 6 of Grammy, where they talk about their parents, where it pertains to to the kids, where it pertains to with them being almost close to an adult, but they're in their teens, where it pertains to you know learn responsibilities and all that, and you know basically baby them, even though they're almost an adult, and basically talking about how to protect themselves in a way, and sometimes they can be overprotective and all, and basically they could show the parents that they can be a young adult, from of their age. And then also we get to a part where and by the way, Drake is downstairs outside while Josh was in the bedroom, and all of a sudden Drake on the walkie talkie, Josh is on walkie talkie too. They say, okay, you guys ready? Basically to talking to each other. Okay, are you ready? So all of a sudden Drake says to Josh, grape me. And then Josh throws the grape to Drake. Josh throws it to grape. Throws it to grape. Almost kind of rhymes, by the way. Drake grape. But anyways, Josh throws the grape to Drake outside, and Drake catches it in his mouth, but he didn't eat it. He said, right back at you. He basically spits back into to Josh, and like himself, okay, that's impossible. First of all, so Josh, he caught the grape that Drake spit out of his mouth to catch it. And it's like, got it, and all that. And he's like, excited, and then he's like, ew. Yeah, exactly. Ew. Also, we get to, the boys in the room, they're graping each other, grape me to each other, with throwing each other's grapes into, shot in the mouth. And they talk about how they're gonna, spend the weekend, to the house for themselves because, Drake, dad, well, or in this case now, the parents of Drake and Josh and their sister Megan is going to be going somewhere. I don't remember where they said they was going, but basically they're gonna have the house to themselves. So they thought, but we'll get to that when we get to it, especially with just Drake's case. So, they're talking about all this, what things they want to do, that they could do. And Josh at one point said, we can run around or walk around in our underwear and all that. And Drake's like, no. So it basically pertains to Drake's plan. He wants to go to that rock stock concert that his mom told him absolutely not. And Drake's basically saying if if he could make a crack by asking her 14 to 17 times, she might say yes. But he's up to 11, so I don't see that happening anytime soon. So it was during the weekdays. Once we get to the weekend, all pertains to it. This whole thing, they're gonna be gone, and Drake and Joshua had the house to themselves, or Drake and Joshua had the house to themselves, which we'll get to. So, and then all of a sudden, can't remember what happened after that. I remember, oh yeah, someone knocking on the door. So Drake goes to answer the door, and as Josh is can't remember what he was doing after that. Since get because like, the camera faces him. All of a sudden, we hear Drake making that noise like like something happened to him. All of a sudden, Josh turns, and then all of a sudden we see him hanging upside down. It was one of Megan's pranks, by the way. Which yeah, I remember now. Before on the um Drake answering the door. They say they're gonna avoid any on top of Megan's prank because Megan's not gonna be there. It's gonna be just Drake and Josh. So we thought. Um, so as Drake also answers the door, he gets hanged upside down by Megan, and Megan's like comes out of nowhere and says, "Wow, that actually worked." And Drake's like, as he's upside down, he's like, "I cannot wait for the weekend." And then we get to the the introduction of Drake and Josh. I found a way. I found a way. Ooh. So they're downstairs now. We get to a part when they're downstairs, and they can Drake and Josh's parents are getting to leave, along with their brother sister Megan. So, basically, as they're getting to leave, they let Drake and Josh know that Grammy's gonna be coming over, and Drake's like, "What? No," and Josh is like, "All right, yeah," and then Drake looks at Josh like, "Josh," and like, I mean, no. It was an awkward moment there, between the two, and there was the parents was like, you didn't think we were gonna leave you here by yourselves, did ya? And then Drake's like, oh, we thought because we're not we only babysitters, we're and everything, right? And but it's too late though. She's right on her way, so there's no canceling on that whole thing now. So Megan was gonna hug Drake, but Drake was like, ew. And then Megan's like, fine, I'll hug Josh, which was part of the plan, by the way. She knew that Drake was gonna hug Megan, so she did it to Josh, which was part of the prank. And a prank of the whole thing of the a paper stick to the back of your shirt. Usually it'll be the whole kick me sign thing, but instead it was the whole stinky butt or itchy butt, something like that. Yeah, it was itchy butt. Now I remember now. So they leave, and then Drake asked one more time to his mom, "Can I please go to the concert?" And but basically he didn't get a chance to say because the mother already knew. Audrey said no, you cannot go to the concert, and Drake's like, man. So much for that. Our luck. So Drake and Josh are all alone until Granny gets there, and the parents and Megan is gone. And Drake is upset that I can't believe Grammy's gonna come and all that and everything. Like Josh is like, but my Grammy's cool and everything, right? And then Drake's like, whatever. Like let's just have fun as we can until she gets here. And they're playing video games in the living room. All of a sudden, Grammy comes in and she's like, what? You unlock the door? And then Drake's like, well, 2 seconds of having fun there. So yeah, so Josh is happy that his Grammy is there. Drake is not, and Grammy doesn't like Drake at all. And we'll get to why once we get it become more of how it makes sense of why Grammy doesn't like Drake's type. So and then we get to a part, I can't remember what's happened after that. Which is Josh happy to see his grandma giving her a hug, and then Drake just want to give her a hug and all that. And the Grammy's the same way. All of a sudden, we see Grammy sees the sign on on Josh, the paper it says to itchy butt, and then Josh like, how'd that get there? Like, and then basically Grammy accuses Drake of doing that, and Drake's like, yeah, I didn't do that. Like, and then she said, how you like it someone put lazy punk on the back of your shirt, and Drake's and Josh's like, look, it doesn't matter, look, and I can't remember what else happened after that. About getting $2. Oh yeah, okay, remember now. Grammy has some gifts for for the boys, for Josh, $50, for Drake, of $2 off haircut. Whenever he gets a haircut. And I can't remember what else happened after that. Where it tends to what Grammy said to Drake that Drake off, and Drake grabs something to hit Grammy with, and Josh stops him, and it's like, I'm scratching, and then Grammy tells Drake that, hey, do me a favor, grab grab my bags and and take them upstairs to Megan's room because that's what she's gonna be sleeping in Megan's room. And basically tells Drake, and make sure you unpack my dongs. It would have been better if she would have said granny panties or something like that in a way, but that would have been way funnier than granny dongs. And Drake's like, ugh. And that was basically it for that one. And then we go to the boys' room where Josh is in the room. Don't remember what he was doing, but then also Drake gets there, and Drake's like disgusted because the whole thing will unpacking Grammy's underwears, and and it's disgusting this whole thing where about Drake not liking his grandmother, and all of a sudden, well, before we get to that point, by the way, where, well, I mean, for a little bit they did, and also we see a sign that says "Lazy Punk" on the back of Drake's shirt, which was Grammy's prank, her own home prank to Drake. And Josh said, "Oh, there's a sign on your back," and then Drake reads it, and he's like, "I hate her," something like that. So Drake and Josh are discussing something with Grammy as Drake's bands comes by, Paul, Rena, and Scotty, and basically to open up the garage, and for them to come up to the room. So Drake and Josh is talking about Grammy and everything, right? Also, the band walks in, and they're discussing again with this whole thing with where they can't go to the concert because they don't have tickets, and Drake's like, well, it doesn't matter anyway because I can't go anyways, and now it pertains to the weekend spending it with Grammy, and then Josh's like, well, trying to convince them in a way that she's cool, once you get to know her and all that, right? She's fun, and all of a sudden she walks into the room and says, "Who wants to play bingo?" And then Josh is like, "Me," like little kid. And Drake, it was so like like this, like he's so disgusted in a way. Also, we get to they're in the kitchen getting ready to cook, and they're basically cooking salad with Josh putting in meatballs in there, and Grammy's like, "Oh, why are you putting meatballs in salads?" And Josh is like, "Why not?" And then Grammy's gonna be like, "Ah, no," and they put the whole thing in there, like and all of a sudden, yo, Drake walks in, excuse me, I should say, in the kitchen, and Josh is like, "Hey, Drake, wanna have dinner with us?" And then Drake's like, salad meatball is again on the way. So this is the ordinary what it takes to Josh doing this. And Drake's like, but no thanks, I'm gonna grab a bite to eat with the gang. And Grammy stops him like, "Oh, hold on, not so fast. Where do you think you're going?" And he's like out, and like, "You're not going to that." I can't remember how she said it. Where it takes to the stink rock stink concert or something like that, whatever. And then Drake caressed her by saying it's first of all it's a rock stock concert, and he's like, "And I can't go because I don't have tickets." And the Graham's like, "Oh, wait, think I'm stupid?" And then Drake's like, "Let's go to be a smart and then Josh was like, "Drake," and then I can't remember what Drake said to her. Like he's just going out with his friends and not going to the concert, and then the Graham's like, "I wasn't born yesterday," and then Drake says, "Oh yeah, I can see that." So I think it was some type of smart remark in a way, and then Grammy's like, "Look, you," and then they'll and Josh steps in like, "Can we all just get along?" Who wants to hug? It's free. And then Grammy's like, she calms down and gives him a hug, and then tells Drake that you're not going anywhere. You're staying right here where I can watch you. Keep an eye on you in a way. Drake's like, but it's Friday night. What am I supposed to do all day in the house? And then Grammy's like, oh, I know what you could do. You can just take a shower and put some decent clothes for once. And Drake's about to grab the kitchen knife. And then Josh's like, don't do it, Drake. Oh my god. And then Drake is off, and he goes upstairs, says, I'll be in my room. And then from there, they were that was it for that conversation. We'll get back to that later, by the way, because that was a part of that that got cut from that scene. And also more attention to the boys upstairs, Drake and Josh, when they were talking about Grammy until they brought in the bands to come upstairs. There was some part of that got cut off too, so we'll get to that later. So then we go to outside. You're back in the backyard, and they're playing basketball. And Josh is doing basketball, basically doing and basically trying to impress his Grammy, who plays basketball too. basically, yeah, Drake and Josh playing basketball, and Josh tossing basketball. He's hoping it will go in the basket, but instead it went boom right to his face. And then Drake's like, your ball, I mean, your face is like, it's like a ball magnet. And then Grammy's like, well, too bad, you can't play, and talking trash in the way, right? So like, Drake's like, I could play just fine. And basically, Grammy challenges Drake to a basketball game. Yo, first 5 shots, to see what goes from there. And then she says, let's make this interesting. If you beat me, I'll let you go with your friends as long as you don't go to that concert. So they play basketball, and Drake's basically beating her in basketball, and Josh is looking like I don't understand what's going on here. Like I don't get it. Like you must be better than that. So Drake wins, obviously, and Grammy was looking tired, and Drake's like, "Have a good night, Grammy. I'm out." And Josh is like, "Oh, what happened? You used to be better than that." Like Grammy's like, "I'm getting too old." And then Josh's like, "Maybe I could beat you now." And then Grammy's like, "Not that old." So then, Drake's committed on go to meet with the gang, but then all of a sudden they showed up. It was just Paul and Rena, and basically, Drake's let them know that I was going to meet you guys at the coffee shop, and then they say, "Would you rather go with us at the Rock Stock concert?" And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Drake's like, what? Because Scotty, now think about this, Scotty, who's dumb, who's an idiot, who's a moron, and based on how he was acting, cocky, arrogant, and a troublemaker. We'll get to that. Keep it that in mind. But Scotty got tickets for them, free tickets. I wonder how he got free tickets. We'll get to that. But Drake's like, I'm sorry, I can't. I promised Grammy that I won't go. And then also you got Paul and Rena making fun of him. Oh, you Grammy, but and everything, right? And like Drake's like, oh, for your information, I beat Grammy in basketball, and all of a sudden, I think it was Rena said, oh, maybe when you come back, when we come back, you go beat her in kickboxing. So basically, they said they're going. If you don't want to go, that's fine. We'll go. And Drake, was thinking about it, and they wait up. Basically, they convinced him. So they get to the concert, and Scotty had the tickets to give it to the to the ticket stamper wherever the lady of it, with her is a security, shows him the tickets, which was fake. So they were taken to the backstage where it's basically a jail. So Sky's like, oh, we're backstage, for our chance to the concert and all that, right? And Rita's like, this isn't backstage, this is prison. It's basically prison, that where it pretends to fake tickets. They could go jail, because they have fake tickets and everything, right? So Sky's like, the tickets aren't fake, and Drake's like, are you sure? And then Sky said, yes, I photocopied them myself. Sky's like, what? And Drake's like, you can't photocopy tickets. Just because you can photocopy tickets doesn't mean they're real. So Sky's like, oh yeah, you can. All you have to do is just put it on the printer machine, wherever that you think potential scamming, and then press copy. He says, any moron can do that. So Drake's like, oh no, it doesn't take just a moron, it takes a special moron like you. Sky show no remorse of what he did there. Not thinking what he did there was wrong. So basically, security's right there listening to us all this, right, and everything. So in a way, the three people there in Drake, Rena, and Paul are the innocent one there. Scotty, who's not so innocent, who admitted there that what he did there was wrong, not knowing that what he did there was wrong because he doesn't think that what he did there was wrong. So why couldn't Scott just be stick around there, and me and let the other three they had no idea about this whole thing, just be scot free because they don't know about the situation. That Scotty did just put off all of them in that position where they could have went to jail. Now we couldn't know pertains to who went to jail because it was never explained because we never hear about them ever again. But we'll get to more about that once we get to what happened next. But basically, Shakira's like, you gotta make one phone call. So Drake makes a phone call. While gonna make my phone call, he's the first to make the phone call. Scotty, is showing Paul a full copy of a 20 bucks to Scotty, and Scotty takes it away, and then Paul takes it away to Scotty, I should say, and Scotty just go put on another one. Again, Scotty's a troublemaker. I can see why that pertains to the band that they part ways because of Sky is doing. And Paul and Rena are in the innocence one too as long. They shouldn't have done anything wrong of why they couldn't see Drake anymore. But Scotty, that's a good another example. That's a pretty good example of never speak or hang out with Scotty or have anything to do with Scotty ever again. So Drake is trying he did reach Josh. He's like, Josh, I'm in trouble. You gotta swear to me if you won't say anything to Grammy. It's like, do you swear? It's like, well, put down the meatball salad and swear already. So we come back from from there where it's been like I don't know for how long it should have told us like the whole thing was SpongeBob SquarePants, the whole 2 minutes later, 3 hours later, something like that. The whole thing. It could be something like that, but they didn't do that. So, but it's been it's been a while. So Josh shows up, but before Josh showed up, basically, I noticed they didn't show Scotty there. So I asked myself, where the hell is Scotty? You're telling me he got all free, even though he did something wrong there. Meanwhile, Paul and Rena stuck around till someone picks them up. But Scotty was no longer there. He went scot free. No point intended, by the way, because his name's Scotty. And meanwhile, Drake is waiting for Josh. So Josh shows up, and Drake's like, "Hey, Josh, how'd you find me?" And it's like, "Well, all of a sudden, Grammy shows up. Like, Grammy's not happy, by the way." Drake's like, "You say, to Josh, you say you wasn't going to tell her. Like, I didn't. I was on the phone, and she must have you picked up the phone and heard our conversation." And then Drake's like to Grammy, that's eavesdropping, no? And Josh's like, yeah, that's true. You should trust us more. And then Grammy's like, I trust you. And then Josh is like to Drake, do you trust me? And Grammy goes to to tell Drake something about I don't trust someone who lies to someone when they were told not to go to that concert, right? And then Josh is like, well, you said you did, yeah, you did promise that, And then Drake's like, whose side you on? And then Josh's like, I just want peace. Grammy's like, so is he going to jail or what? To the security, right? And then the security's like, well, either that or he pays the fine. So she has to pay the fine, and then go back home, and it was a $200 fine, a $200 fine that she had to pay. Now she didn't have to pay, by the way. She could just have Drake be locked up in there, like in juvie, right? Like she said there too, by the way. And Drake's apologizing and everything, and like, I'm just gonna apologize to you. I'll let you know when you get there. And then and all of a sudden Drake's like, I'll just let you know, I had no plans of going to the concert, but once the friends showed up with free tickets and all that, I got talked into it. And then Grammy's like, oh yeah, well, how nice of you, with that and everything, right? And you should be more, responsible, something like that. I can't remember how she said it. And Josh's like, I know, I keep telling him that. And then Drake's like, Josh, like, and then Grammy's like, Drake, no, $200 you maybe spent. That's the trouble I get after letting you win that basketball game. And Drake's like, I told you I'm sorry. And then he's like, wait a minute, what do you mean you let me win? Grammy's like, forget it. And then no, tell me. Okay, fine. Josh was talking to me how bad I was treating you, so I let you win. So you could go on with your friends and everything, right? Basically the only way to to let Josh know he was right about the way she's been treating Drake. And then Drake's like, oh please, I beat you. And then and Grammy's like, you couldn't even beat an egg. So basically they ends up playing basketball again. Where this time it's gonna be different now. Where if Drake wins, Grammy won't tell the parents when they intends to him go to that concert. But if Grammy wins, Drake's gonna have to tell the parents. So we get to a part where they're playing yo basketball. But before we get to that point, Grammy tosses the soda bottle to Josh to give it watch don't play the basketball, right? And Josh is like, this is better than bingo. So they get to play, and Grammy is showing some moves there, like took the basketball away from Drake and then shoots a hoop, gets one point. Basically, it's a five shot for the win. And then Drake's got the ball and he's gonna toss it, but then Grammy out of Drake's hands, but not knowing that the ball is like in Josh's face and he's drinking the soda. And then Josh's like, my face is a ball magnet. And also, I forgot to mention this too, by the way. Grammy had the basketball and then tossed the ball harder to Drake, and it's like, oh. So then they're playing all that, right? It was 4-4, and Josh's like, I got a pee, but I'm not going to. Yeah. And then we get to a part where Grammy gets the ball, and she makes the basket, and she got the point. So she won. 5-4. Grammy, Drake, and Drake, Grammy's bragging and all that, right? And then Drake's like, yeah, fun for you. I'm gonna be grounded for a month, like that, right? And then all of a sudden, Josh like, that was great, and like, may I? That's the basketball and all that, and shoots it, but hit the basket, but it went back to Josh, and then basketball, not my thing and all that, right? And Grammy's check on Josh, and that was it. Now we get to the part where they're playing video games. I believe it's on the Sunday afternoon. I think that's probably it, because it was gonna be the end of the weekend, because at this point their parents are coming back now, and Megan. So Grammy and Josh are playing video game, and Grammy's like, am I doing this right? And then Josh's like, oh, let me see. It's like, sucker. And Drake shows up and gives Grammy $200. And Grammy's like, yeah, I knew she had to pay me back. And then Drake's like, I know, but he just thought he owes her, forget, which is him getting locked up. And she's like, where'd you get this kind of money anyways? And then he's like, I was saving for a new guitar, but doesn't matter. So all of a sudden, the parents shows up and Megan, and they're talking about how they have a great time on that, and also Drake is gonna let them know, the parents, about this whole thing about what happened. So he was getting close to getting to that, and then Grammy cuts him off and says, then let me tell them. So Grammy tells the parents that Grammy beat Drake in basketball. And then the parents are laughing, and even Megan's laughing. And then Grammy's like, oh, but hey, Drake, that's the truth, right? The truth's the truth. And then Drake's like, well, yeah, she did. She totally beat me, that, right? And Megan's like, ha ha, Grammy beat you basketball. And Drake's like, oh, don't laugh at me. Josh lost to Grammy and Bingo about 12 times, something like that, and then no laugh. And Drake's like, because he knew it stunk. And then Audrey, the mother, said, ha ha, Grammy beat you in basketball. So in a way, it was all fun and games, and laughing at Drake because he lost to an old lady. So at this point, they go to the next scene where Drake and Josh are in the rooms. Josh is in the laptop, I guess doing homework or whatever. Drake's playing his guitar, and Drake's like, hey, grade me. And then also Grammy walks in and basically let them know that she's giving to leave. And Drake's like, wait, Grammy, talk to me. Why'd you cover for me? And she's like, I think that's a soft spot for your rock musicians, something like that, right? It's like, come on, the deal was, you beat me in basketball, I tell my parents. And she's like, and I saw exactly you was gonna do that. So, and that was enough punishment there. And basically it was good enough for her, I meant to say. And she says, and besides, it was punishment enough. You got beat by an old lady. And, saying that you're not that old. Drake said that. And all of a sudden, Josh was like, told you she's cool. So Grammy's hugging Josh first, and then hugs Drake. But Drake was hesitant, like, and like, come on, it's free. And then she hugs him, and she sticks on the back of him, like, oh no, what is that? Like, we'll get to that. So she leaves. And all of a sudden, Josh closed the door. All the boys. Oh, wow, they were, I think I mentioned already on the boys' bedroom. So Josh is like closing the door, and he looks at Drake, And then Drake's like, what? Josh's like, you love my Grammy. Like, okay, I like her. All of a sudden, Drake scrolled up onto his bed, and then Josh's meant to say was like, Drake, and then Drake knew. She put something on my back, did she? So he checked, see what it was. And it's an envelope. He opens it up, and like, oh, $200 that she get back to him. And like, oh, that's nice. And a $2 off of a next haircut, right? That too, that's well, the coupon. And Drake's like, I'm gonna thank her. And also, and Josh like, peace at last. As Drake's giving the leave, he's upside down. Ah! Megan's back, so her pranks. It's good to be back, Megan said. And as she leaves, also we see a West bomb, in the back of Drake's pants. And I asked himself, I wonder if he pissed himself. Oh my god. And that was it for that episode. But then we get to the credits where we get to, let's see, what was the one that I want to bring up? Oh yeah, Drake and Josh talking about Grammy, where it pertains to you know she's my Grammy. Don't talk about my Grammy that way. And like so she's kind of your Grammy too. And then Josh is like, I had to get along with your twisted little sister. Learn to get along with your twisted little sister. And then we get to the part where Josh and Grammy are talking about her her behavior to Drake. Like, why you I treat Drake like that? Like, cause I did magicians like his type of people, like Drake, who a magician, all that, which is your rock bands, wherever, um rock singers in a way, or whatever have you, whatnot. And before she met you know Josh's grandfather, and it's those type of people that she doesn't like. So that's why she treats Drake that way, because she knows those type of people. And all of a sudden, Josh is like, I really don't want to hear you talk about you being with other men. And then it's just the rock stars or in a way, right? And Grammy's like, I guess I'm gonna tell you about about whatever And then Josh is like, like, oh, am I expect to see you in the commercial of Granny's Gone Wild? And like, wow. But there you go, folks. That was it. And that was it for season 1, episode 6, Grammy. All right, so this will be a pre-recording of to let you all know that I'm gonna stick around where it is to talk a little bit more about the episode of Grammy for season 1, episode 6. And the reason why I'm doing an audio version of it is because it was during that time where my cousin was getting ready to go to bed, and I was basically in the spot of my little brother who's over at his friends in the week during the weekend, or maybe his cousin, who knows, where it pertains to my cousin having sleeping on my brother's bed. And I was on my brother's bed where it pertains to me doing the reviews like I always do for Drake and Josh. Um, but in a way, it's just going for the season 1 pertains to me doing these Drake and Josh review series. But I'll talk a little more about the whole situation where it pertains to what I'm going to do next when I come back to doing season 2 for Drake and Josh review series. But let's talk a little bit more about the episode of Grammy. So, the whole thing about, where Drake and Josh talking about, you know, being, teenagers and basically being like, young adults where they thought they was going to have that house to themselves, to themselves, I should say, um, to find out that they end up going to be babysitting, with Josh's grandmother that Josh always prefers to her as Grammy. So basically, you have Grammy, being babysitting on them, which Drake was not fond of in a way, but pertains to that whole thing, where Drake was also trying to to go to the concert with his friends and see how that turned out, with everything that's transpired with what Scotty did, basically getting them all in trouble in that whole situation. And I mean, never saw him ever again. Moving forward from from season two all the way to the end of when we get to the end of season four. No mention of them, no returns of them whatsoever. That was it, that friendship, which is very depressing because Paul and were pretty good friends with Drake, and the one who ruined that friendship, was Scotty because of his ignorance and and not thinking from his head clearly about what he did was wrong there, and show no remorse, show no compassion whatsoever. Shows that he's not really friends that much with them. Only to see that they're not hanging around with each other no more, not doing any music together no more, not you know, and yeah, it is a sad situation there, because something like that could end a friendship like that where you don't see them ever again. Because that's a type of life situation there. Now on the way that was done on the show, you know, that was a serious situation, because they could have went to jail, you know, but luckily they had to make that one phone call to see if anything comes through, and luckily for Drake, it came through, but not knowing if it's going to be able to be able to now, if Josh's Grammy didn't hear it takes to the phone call conversation there. So yeah, in a way, Drake should be thanking Grammy for that, because when it comes to that whole relationship with Grammy and Drake, those two didn't have a great relationship when they first met, because Grammy know Drake's type, and she could have him be locked up instead of paying and all that, and then and the parents would have found out about it, and Walter and Audrey. So that also could also ruin the family relationship there too, no, because Drake decided to disobey, even though he was talked into with his two friends there that he doesn't see anymore, which is the sad part of it all as well. And but pertains to family, even though Drake and Josh are stepbrothers and all, and and in a way Grammy is kind of the step Grammy, I should say, for Drake. You know it could be difficult, to get along with when you're welcome into the family. So things did work out in at the end of the day, where the family ends up being stronger than ever, and it's a good thing that Drake got that trust from his grandmother, despite their the rocky relationship at first. But then at the end, they end up having a smooth, well relationship at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, they are family. So in a way, Josh basically talked into Grammy to make amends with Drake, to give him that chance, to see he's different from any other people that that are type or Drake's type that she's met before. Um, but yeah, so yeah, but moving forward from this episode of the seasons, I should say, for these reviews, Drake and Josh, it's gonna be a little different now. I'm gonna do some different type of editings in a way, and hopefully it'll be a lot better. But as of right now, folks, we're tends to do this in-house review series. Right now, I'm gonna put it on hold. It's gonna be on a hiatus for. I'm just basically let you know. Since we're in November, it's gonna be for a good 2 to 3 months. So I probably will come back with a new a new edition of the Drake and Josh review series. When we talk about season two. That's gonna be the next thing I'm talking about. And you know, season one was with short episodes that they did so far, and it's gonna be a little more longer when it comes to season two to season four. And on top of that, along the way, we'll talk about some movies clips as well. Pertains to Drake and Josh, Go to Hollywood or Goes Hollywood. I think that's what it's called. And the really big strip, which is that was around season 4 pertains to their TV series film in a way. But at the same time, Chris Drake and Josh also Highway was also a TV movie as well, but it had something to do, but it had no live studio audience in attendance. And pertains to the other movie that they did on TV, Drake and Josh Christmas. I forgot the name of the title, but that's basically what it was, a Christmas movie that they did. And that also was the same thing with how it was produced pertains to the first movie they did when they went to Hollywood. As far as really big screen, that one did have a live studio audience where they're streaming it like an episode and a movie at the same time, where it tends to be on television. You know, a series I should say, where it tends to sitcoms. So yeah, but yeah, folks, I'm gonna take a little hiatus, and you'll find out some reasons why I'm gonna take a hiatus too. It tends to the next 1 to 3 months of it. So, but I'll do something first, pertains to that whole thing. Because again, it's gonna be a long hiatus for me to do a review series, especially everything that I'm going through right now. Hopefully everything gets better, and hopefully um you know when there's a will, there's a way for me to once again, what tends to me going through things I talked about before, it tends to losing my passion in life. Because me in that situation once again, this time is with different reasons. But yeah, but that's all I'm gonna say from there, folks. And yeah, but all I can say, I had a great time, doing these reviews for Drake and Josh, and I will still continue to do other contents too, obviously, with with other things I do on YouTube. And yeah, I know, yeah, you already know what contents I do already, um, but yeah. But as far as the episode of Grammy, great show, good show. Um, and I'm gonna give it a 2 thumbs up. As a pertains to it was another hit and home run, and it really you know got me excited to watching season 2. During back in those days, pertains to everything that transpired. To keep you into the show, keep you into the characters, into the to keep you invested to pertains to this show, Drake and Josh. This really is a great show, and that final episode of season 1 um was it did do its justice where it pertains to everything. And then you see Drake making new friends and making new band members in the way along the way. So which we'll get to all that when we get to that once I come back to from my hiatus of doing these reviews once again for Drake and Josh. But also I want to talk about this one episode too. By the way, this had nothing to do with Grammy. But this has something to do with Two Idiots and a Baby, where I kind of screwed up a little bit because now I remember where Taser Josh trying to look for the baby and he's crying, and then he's going into the garage, and then he decided to call Drake, and that's when they cut away from there and went to the band where they going getting to perform, or are setting up to get ready to perform. And the whole thing with Arena, those Drake smelling like dirty like diapers and everything, and then they cut away from that back to Josh trying to call Drake, but then the voicemail and all that, and then Josh goes up to the room and then finds the baby diaper curtain on the catapult, and then the whole thing where he flung the baby out of the window. Then goes off, and then we go back to Drake's arena, we're back at where they go to get ready to perform. Two fangirls come up to them and to Drake, and smelling dirty diapers, and Drake, it's on doing Paul on the bus there instead of doing it with Scotty. Then we go back to where Josh is looking for, where the football landed, basically look for the baby, where the football landed on top of the roof, and then Josh is like, I wonder if the baby's on the roof and all that, and then he got a call, but he thought it was Drake, but it ends up being Mrs. Galloway. And then that retains the whole thing, because the whole mama thing, know, dinner dinner got on the way, and and then also we go back to where Drake is getting listen to a voicemail from Josh, and Drake is making a decision: should he perform, or should he leave, and just cancel the gig and all that, right? So we go back to Josh from there, and Josh, is climbing up the ladder to find Max, but also the ladder tips down. This could get worse. Oh no, I couldn't. It's not in the way, and then that's where Drake appears. So yeah, that's another. So that's basically what I want to do as well. Just to correcting myself from the previous episode of from the season, and now I did the right way now. So there you go. Now, as far as moving forward, pertains to doing these reviews, for Drake and Josh, the series, pertains to episode one, pertains to learning a valuable lesson, you know, pertains to Josh, his a lesson, you know, you can always give good advice by not wearing a dress, you know. Um, for episode two, where it tends to learn about the lesson, where it pertains to the whole the Doom Monkey episode, pertains to that whole lesson. The lesson is that don't lie because it will get you nowhere, and it will end pretty bad. If you're honest, you'll be rewarded. The truth will set you free. And when it comes to believe me, brother, from that episode, there's a lesson there too as well. No matter what happens, always remember the lesson where it tends to any you know one that cheats on you. And in this case, where it tends to Drake's girlfriend cheating on him with with Josh, bros before just saying. And for to It is a baby episode with that valuable lesson. Um, Let me see. What wasn't there another episode? Yeah, actually there was, and that's the other episode, which I'll get to when I get to it. But where it tends to 2 days and the baby, there's a valuable lesson there. Retains the whole thing. Always um help your brother in a situation where it tends to a situation where he needs you to be there to take care of something that's very important, and that is babysitting. And Drake did the right thing there by for that whole thing. Another lesson is you know don't be pranking Josh when you're stealing the baby. You know because Megan, but and then pertains to the first crush, just a lesson there too. Like pertains to the Dumaki one, always tell the truth, or especially when you've been up a relationship when you want when you have a crush with someone and you want to go out with them, and they want to show that you're a good person and you're always being honest. Never lie to them because because otherwise that relationship will end, and that it's not gonna get you anywhere. It tends to having those type of relationship when it's based on a lie. Always based on a relationship on the truth. So, and finally, when it comes to the Grammy episode, listen there as well. Always tell the truth. Like especially pertains to again what pertains to Doom Buggy and First Crush, or pertains to being in that's well it's you also tell the truth too and pertains to the whole situation with Grammy and Drake, with the whole thing. Instead of lying about us about doing something that you was supposed to do. But another lesson here is that pertains to actually I can't remember what was going to be that lesson. Well, actually there is there is another one. Which is on the one that's pertains to Scotty. Never copy tickets, thinking pertains to you know these tickets looks real, and then you copy those tickets to look like it's to make it look as real, but when it's not. Never copy tickets. Because at the end of the day, when you copy those tickets, those are not going to be the actual tickets. Those will be fake tickets, and that will get you in a lot of trouble where you could be locked up. Same thing with Ghost Money too, by the way, because that's another thing too. Where tends to what Sky did as well, where it tends to Drake get that phone call to Josh. But no lesson. I was trying to bring up to as well was that never underestimate Grammy because of her age and because of how old she is. Because we underestimate Grammy, she'll beat you in a game of basketball. But yeah, so that's basically it. I mean, there's some more lessons I could think of to as well pertains to this whole thing. But move forward from now on, pertains to talking about the reviews or these episodes. I want to talk about lesson to be learned pertains to the whole thing as well. Based on these episodes. So there you go. But that being said, I'm gonna end it from here now. And yeah, so again, this gets a double thumbs up because it really got me into tuning into to the next season of Drake and Josh because it did a splendid job to make me it did a splendid job for me to continue to watch the show moving forward on during that time, and I thought it did its job. So um that being said, again, I don't know when I'll be back. Maybe I don't know, maybe it could be just a 2 month hiatus of the Drake and Josh review. But just for safety portions of it, it's gonna be 2 to 3 months. We'll give it as that. So there you go, folks. All right, being said, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for for spending your time. And all this this reviews of which is a Drake and Johnson series. Of my review of it from one to six for season one is up there in the archive and on my playlist for the Drake and Johnson review series. Check it out. Every episode, pertains to me reviewing it. So, with that being said, I'm out. I'm gonna get out here. Um, so yes, I am Robert, and this was your season one pertains to the Drake and Josh series. Taking a hiatus for the next 2 to 3 months, and I'll see you all next time. But you'll still see me doing more contests here on YouTube pertains to wrestling, taking out the trash, drink reviews, maybe a return of food reviews. Who knows? We'll see. Whatever type of content I'll be doing, I'll be back here. Um, so you'll be well, stay safe, take care of yourself and that's going on in the world. And I am out here. Y'all take care and always remember, find a way.